Mr. R wanted us to learn, and I, Audra, from his 4th period chemistry, have learned to a B level the following concepts from the first 12 chapters of our chemistry book. This is not an inclusive list, but my selection of concepts from each chapter that I will remember.
And Mr. R wanted us to learn Audra Cesar from his 6th period chemistry. To have learned from a high C and level the following concepts from the first 11 chapters of our chemistry book. This is not an inclusive list, but my selection of concepts from each chapter that I will remember. Chapter 1 is the Intro to Chemistry, and chemistry traces its roots back to ancient study of alchemy. Chapter 2 is the matter and change, and matter can take in most environments solid, liquid, and gas. Chapter 3 is scientific measurement, and there are many tools, formulas are used in science to measure kilogram unit of measurements. Chapter 4 is atomic structure, and the diameter of an atom ranges from about 0.1 to 0.5 nanometers. And chapter 5 is electrons and atoms. Dalton was an English chemist that created the atomic theory of matter, a composition of previous findings by Democritus, and his own findings concluded that all matter is made of atoms.
In chapter 6, the periodic table, we learned 3 types of elements, how the periodic table was organized, and what the families of elements are, and what the periodic trends were. In chapter 7, we learned about the ionic, chapter 7 is the ionic and metallic bonding. We learned about what ions are and what valence electrons were, what the octet rule is, and what the 3 properties of ionic compounds were. In chapter 8, we learned about covalent bonding, what information does a molecular formula provide, how electron dots structures represent shared electrons were. In chapter 9, chemical names and formulas, we learned what cations and anions were, representative elements, polyatomic ions, and how we write formulas and names for ionic compounds. In chapter 10, chemical quantities, we learned what the mole was and 3 ways to measure matter, percent composition. In chapter 11, the last chapter that we studied, we learned what chemical reactions were. The skeleton equation, what a catalyst is, coefficients, types of the reactions, spectre ion, and the net ionic equation.
Is that it?
Yes.
Yay!